The amount of EV companies here in China that are dying are just staggering. And here is a list of all the EV companies, new energy vehicle companies in China that have already died out. As you can see, the amount of carnage is absolutely crazy. And there are actually 3 more on this list that have not crossed out. Ladies and gentlemen, ever since the inception of 2024, we've seen a resurgence of the price war, an even more vigorous price war, first initiated by BYD, lowering their entry-level DMI hybrid Chin model down to a whopping 70k RMB. And just today, the price war took a monumental turn with Geely lowering their 4th generation Dihao model down to 55.9 thousand RMB, even lower than Chin. And their advertising says 比你低更比你强, lower than you and stronger than you, with an obvious reference to BYD. And this unlucky guy, he bought a second-hand car of the same car for 80,000 RMB. And then just today, the price of the new car is 55,000 RMB. The new car is 24,000 RMB cheaper than the second-hand car. How crazy is that? That will absolutely decimate the second-hand prices of those vehicles and reignite this price war and bring it to the next level. Voya today, suffering from low deliveries because of their sales being stolen by competitors, could not hold back and announced 50,000 RMB price cuts across the board, worth an estimated 1 billion plus RMB in price cuts. What we're seeing now is the survival of the fittest. Because people are fighting for sales, people are undercutting each other. And those with deeper pockets will ultimately survive, and those with shallow pockets will ultimately perish. We're seeing a cleansing of all the new energy vehicle companies here in China. Because of the rapid development of EVs here in China, boosted by subsidies and government policies, they have become the #1 fastest growing market industry here in China. However, it has become rampant. It has become outrageous. It has become infectious. The EV companies are everywhere, taking over shopping malls, and you're seeing more EV companies, new energy vehicle companies in shopping malls than actual clothing brands. This was obviously unsustainable, and with the Chinese government pulling back and outright in 2023 removing the EV subsidy, with the stimulus gone, no more incentives for customers to buy EVs. Many cars selling with 0 EV subsidy or very few local EV subsidies. The cars have become more expensive and unaffordable for most people. Paired with a declining economy, consumers are a lot more picky about where they spend their money. And with declining sales, many companies are forced to do price cuts to uncomfortable levels just to keep up with sales targets. However, unfortunately, these price cuts only offer temporary relief to deliveries. And afterwards, after the initial hype period, we see that sales often drop back to where it was before the price cut. And this is why companies like NIO are so reluctant to do price cuts, because it would not do good in the long term. But with so many cars, products, new energy vehicles here in China, and most of them very homogeneous, 4 wheels, you got 5 seats, steering wheel, you got decent range, electricity, sometimes plus gasoline. There are very little differentiating factors. They are highly homogeneous, and a lot of companies are forced to use price to be the differentiating factor. But even so, that is often not enough. There will always be a car with better specs at a cheaper price point that will absolutely decimate your sales. And you have no other option to either come up with another product that's even cheaper and even better than in specs, or to do further price cuts, or to suffer losing sales to your competitor. Ladies and gentlemen, there are simply way too many EV companies here in China, and this price war is very healthy for the market to clear out all the unnecessary junk that we do not want to see. All of these cars, there's so many of these EVs. Consumers are flooded with choice, and some of these companies, they just have to go. There's no other way. They just have to get wiped out. And that way, we have a more healthy market, whereas the only surviving companies are the ones with the deep pockets and good product. And let's not forget, consumers know about this price war. They are not in any hurry to buy cars. Consumers, like many auto companies, understand that they got to come out with a newer car that's cheaper and better, and a lot of consumers are waiting for that exact car. And some of them just keep on waiting. Some of them, they don't pull the trigger until cars are extremely cheap. Like you saw at the beginning of the video, if you rush in to pull the trigger and you buy a 80,000 RMB car and you think that you got a fantastic deal, even though it's secondhand, the new car used to be 100,000 plus RMB, but right the next day they lower the price of that exact car model with the new variant, the new version, even better, but at an even lower price. And you risk spending your money, wasting your money, and suffering instant depreciation of your money. You buy a car, and the next day it is worth substantially less, even less than half. You might lose half of your money in one single day. Some of the consumers do not want to risk that, and hence are hesitant with pulling the trigger. Only the strong will survive. The weak will not, and they are not supposed to survive. The weak need to be flushed out and cleansed out. This is what the current market condition is here in China. Like NIO's CEO said, stop dreaming about the price war getting less intense. The price war will get 100% more intense in 2024. Do not ever dream that the price war will get less intense. So that's where we have it for today. Tomorrow, are they going to do more price cuts? Are there going to be new cars that come out at even cheaper prices? And I can guarantee you 100% the answer to that is yes.